Hello, everyone, and welcome to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. You know who I am. I'm LeRon Dawkins, the host here, but also with me, of course, are my wonderful, beautiful co-hosts here. We got Stephanie Klimov.
Hello.
And we got Corey Durick. What's up?
Hello.
And welcome back to our favorite night of the week.
Yes.
Is it
Wednesday night.
Is it still Wednesday?
It's still Wednesday. Unfortunately, it's still Wednesday.
For at least another 40 minutes.
Yes, yeah. But guys, I'm kind of walking on sunshine right now because the game I've been waiting for. Well, one of the games I've been waiting for is actually less than 40 minutes away, and I'm so excited.
Which is why I would totally be respectful of ending on time so you can enjoy it, because I know what it's like. No, I know what it's like to wait. Like, I know how you are with Monster Hunter, and even I am super impressed by what I've seen of Sunbreak. So, I'm literally living vicariously through you right now until I get my turn and play Stray. So I get it.
I feel like we're living in the best days of Monster Hunter now. And that's so crazy to say that. The franchise has been around since God, when did it start? It's older than Mass Effect. I gotta look back on this, but man, it's been around for. I want to say it's been around since 2004. So 18 years of Monster Hunter, man. It's crazy, and the games just get better and better, and the hype train is phenomenal for the new games as they come out now. It's crazy, and Capcom puts a lot of production value behind these games. I feel like Monster Hunter right now is Capcom's destiny.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I think.
Yeah.
But I think they would like it to be anyway.
Yeah, the only thing they can do now is release a freaking PvP PvE element game, or make it an MMO, Well, they tried that with a game called Monster Hunter Frontier. But anyway, I'm not here to talk right now about video games because this is After Dark. We talk about everything but video games on this show, right?
Sometimes we talk about video games.
Naughty video games. I bought another one.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, I left my Switch in the other room and I'm lazy, but it's called Pub Encounter.
Oh boy.
And you basically are going after really thirsty older men. So it's like an old man sugar daddy simulator.
Game built for Stephanie.
I can't wait. I'll be reporting to you soon about Pub Encounter. Those distinguished old men.
That game just sounds naughty. But I don't know, that game
Pub Encounter, right?
That game you told me about last week, Corey, that game was naughty.
Oh my gosh, that game was it's
Also, Waifu Impact is on sale on the PlayStation Store. Waifu Impact.
Wait, is that? Oh, I know. I remember that game.
One where you run around as a girl in a bikini and soak other girls in bikinis.
Yeah.
Yeah. That game.
So, how are we doing, guys? How's it been?
I need to get laid.
Oh God! Right out and say it, huh?
There we go.
I was waiting for that show to say it. No, well, people say that just because everything's just so stressful, and I don't care what kind of person you pretend to be, but having sex does mellow people out and just you chill out. I'm sorry, that's true.
You know what? When I was in the military, we always said sex is like PT and working out. Even when it's bad, it's good for you.
Right. And when I say that does not mean I'm going to go dial up a stranger and go do it now. No, I have some self-control, but just basically saying, yes, I would feel a lot better if I
Didn't you just text us, though, and say you forgot to download Tinder because we were going to do something with this?
And I downloaded Tinder. I mean, not that we have to do it tonight. We can do it next week. I won't delete it until we do this. So, and I have a date Friday, and I'm not sure if this guy is a weirdo or not a weirdo yet. It's very hard to tell.
Well, good luck on your date. Please let us know how it goes. You don't have to divulge anything on the show, of course, but please let us know.
This isn't the live show. He listened to our 4-hour show, Corey, on Nintendo Pow Block.
Oh boy,
4 hours, and he
boy.
listened to this Boss Rush one as well.
He must really
the one we just wrapped.
Yes.
Oh man. Oh,
Man, he must really
he must really want some.
yeah.
Especially the 4 hour one. I was texting him like, dude, you're still listening? You can go to bed now. He goes, no, I want to see what your number one is. I'm like, okay, well, all
You should have
right.
just texted him your number one and ruined the
God,
surprise.
I'm not sleeping with neither one of y'all, and I stuck around to see what y'all's number ones were.
Mm.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to hijack whatever the topic is, but just real quick, this can be a super, super quick. Is there any suggestions of like what red flags to look out for prior to, like, ultimately I won't really know until you meet the person, right? Because people can, it's hard to tell through text and their profile, but I'm like, so far he seems normalish, but it's so hard to, like, are there any flags I should look out for?
Mm. Mm.
Especially
Corey,
with
Corey, you want to start? You're the married person here.
What am I starting?
Because I don't know. I feel like I'm the worst. I'm the worst when it comes to judgment because like I kind of I get wrapped up in new people real fast.
Okay, well, I'll give you that extreme example, but this is an extreme example. Remember the guy that texted me a picture of a dildo up his butt when I did not ask for that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that was just because we were first. It was like a slippery slope. It was talking about not being judgmental, then talking about what you're not being judged for. Then he just is into me into doing something. I'm like, oh, that's okay. You're into what you're into. Oh, do you want to see toys? All right, not do you want to see toys at my butt? Which again is
he
still
took he took a hard left on that one.
and it's still partially my fault because I probably shouldn't even entertain the toy thought. So that's why it's a bad example. But just generalized red flags. I will say so far he has not sent me a dick pic. He has not attempted to get to that area yet. He does text me a good morning and he does text me a good night. I'll just start there. I just like, are there any weird comments or like, I don't know, help me.
I don't know. If he's sending you good morning, good nights. Wait, how long have you been talking to this guy?
3 weeks.
Hmm.
And we haven't gotten together yet because I've just been very busy every night recording a podcast. I see.
Right.
I put you guys first.
Aw. It's because we're not looking for anything. So
I would say he's being a gentleman right now. I guess
Okay, this is gonna sound real mean. Like, and you guys can call me out for being a bitch for it, but maybe it's because I'm
Stephanie
divorced.
Stephanie doesn't like nice guys. That's what you're about to say, aren't you?
No, I was thinking he just turned 43.
Mhm.
To my knowledge, he's never been married or has kids. So part of me is like, what's wrong with him if he hasn't been divorced by now?
Everybody does that. Everybody does that.
And I know that. See, LeRon, like, I acknowledge that. Like, I am stereotyping or generalizing. But is there merit to it or is there not? And you can, I can be very wrong, but unfortunately I can't help it. I'm like, why? What's wrong? Like, does he have like some weird thing? Is he a serial killer? Like, I don't know.
It could just be an introvert.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, well, I guess I add to a different part of the equation because I'm bisexual. Because like, like, yeah, like it's really easy to say, well, you're gay. Well, that's why you're not married. That's why you don't have kids and whatnot. Even though like I told both of you guys, like, shoot, Corey, we got really intimate last week. But I was like, my parts work for both genders. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
But,
like 2 weeks ago though, right?
That was 2 weeks ago. It
Yeah.
felt like a week ago. My sense of time and timing is just bad.
Yeah, my sense of timing this week in general is just awful. I went from thinking today was a Thursday to Tuesday to I don't know. I didn't even realize this week was July until today at a meeting when they were like Friday the 1st. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening here?
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. You could if you legit asked me what I had for lunch Monday, like I really couldn't tell you. It's not because I have a bad memory. It's because like if it wasn't something like like if it wasn't something like super memorable, I'm just not gonna remember. I'll tell you. I'll accidentally tell you what I had for lunch on Saturday. Versus what I had on Monday. It's my timing. My sense of time is weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to your new dude. I'm sitting here legit thinking about what could be a red flag, but basically what you told me so far sounds like it's all green flags. Like I don't even see a yellow caution flag yet, you know. Um, I guess on the first date, honestly, like you will have to see like is because like some people actually, like decide to be super forward like once they meet in person because I think now like like there's two types of men on dating profiles. Like, the ones who come at you like super fast, on a dating profile, and the ones that wait until they meet you in person to surprise you. And so it could go either way. I honestly would just say like, red shit. I don't even know what I'm gonna say because I'm probably the worst person because like I said, I get super attached like real fast like with new people.
Well, maybe you
Um,
can at least let me know that just because he's 43 and never was married to have kids doesn't necessarily mean he's a serial killer or something.
yeah, I don't think he's a serial killer. If anything, if maybe he's like me. He's trying not to he's trying not to get to a point where because this is going to sound bad, but men have real hesitancy about about like starting families and stuff like that because like if he's on like the one side of the fence is like like he's got to be super careful about how he molds like the next generation, or like he doesn't want, heaven forbid, like he gets into a relationship too fast, like winds up having a kid, and him and the spouse don't work out and stuff like that. Like that's one of the things men worry about, stuff like that.
Good luck
Um,
to him because my shop's closed.
Boarded up.
Sorry. So if he wants kids, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. Like that's some relationship advice. Like like definitely let people know what your plans are as far as kids go. Like when you get super serious, with somebody and stuff like that. Because I've seen a lot of people who are like honestly felt like they were meant for each other, and go through like the worst breakup, divorce or whatever because like one person didn't say at the beginning of the relationship, "Hey, I'm not into the whole kids thing." It's it's one of those situations where it's like the person like the other person gets their heart broken because of that, and it's one of those things I feel like when you're dating is kind of like the job application. You know what I mean? Like the time that you spend dating somebody, you should be it's the part where you're screening them to see like if this is the person you can have a future with and stuff like that. Which is why I always get kind of skeeved out when someone that I'm dating was like after month two, they're like, "Hey, let's move in together." Like, what? Are you nuts? Stuff like that, because like it's just a weird thing. Like you're moving way too fast. Like I don't even know. I don't even know for sure if you have like a peanut allergy and you're asking to move in together.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep you guys posted. I know I'm boring the hell out of Corey, but it's just
I'm not
I
bored.
don't know. I forgot what I was going to say,
It
so
looks
we
like
can
it
move
looks
on.
like Corey's leaning on his microphone, right?
I mean, I'm leaning on my desk because I just like I don't know this.
COVID's kicking your ass.
It
COVID's kicking your
it's
ass.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm like struggling to kind of like.
hang in there.
Mhm.
It's not that I'm like struggling to talk or be on. It's just like every time I say like two or three sentences, I feel like my chest gets super tight and my
Yeah.
throat is on fire, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm
Hmm.
just trying to prevent myself from talking and or breathing when I don't have to,
Well,
Gotcha.
is all.
well, I had what was going to be like a super heavy topic, but I think I'm going to save it for now. Let's just say though, like, hey, like if you have not been paying attention to the news, and there's a whole bunch of shit to pay attention to right now, R. Kelly got sentenced to 30 years in prison today.
Is
30
this
years, man.
is this all from him with the peeing on the girl thing from like
Let me
10 years
let
ago?
Sex trafficking.
Yeah, for sex trafficking.
Oh shit.
R. Kelly sentenced 30 years in prison in Brooklyn federal court Wednesday after being convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking.
Mm.
Um, Judge Ann Donnelly sentenced Kelly after she and the court heard statements from the victims. She ordered him to pay a $100,000 fine. The singer, R. Kelly has already been in jail since 2019,
Mm.
but he also faces separate charges of child pornography and obstruction of justice in federal court cases in Chicago, where a trial has been set for August the 1st.
Mm.
Um, like I said, I had a topic planned. I was going to use this as a topic to roll into a bigger discussion about sexual assault and stuff like that. But I'm gonna save that
You
because
sure? I mean, I don't mind.
well, no, it's more like man, like Corey is struggling right now, so I want to do something a little bit more wholesome. So guys, when you're
Yeah,
feeling
R. Kelly's sexual assault and trafficking, so much more wholesome.
yeah. Hey,
Nothing
Corey,
like some wholesome sex trafficking.
you know what? Hey, Corey, get yourself winded by telling our listeners about Patreon.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Gross.
That pitiful cough.
You can no, dude. When I cough, it like squeaks. That's how tight my
Oh.
throat feels.
Oh my God.
It's like a kid squealing cough. It's gross.
See, that's why you're gonna love that's why you're gonna love the topic I decided to pull an audible
God.
to.
Okay. So yeah, patreon.com/Boss Network is where you can support us as a group, as the Boss Rush Network. You can gain early access to After Dark, Standard Definition, Expansion Pass, and the Boss Rush podcast for as little as $1 a month. But if you want to be a Patreon producer, you can subscribe to us at the $5 tier, which means you get your name shouted out on this here program, just like Quentin Jackson, Rebecca Jewell, Adriel Munger, and my wife, Sana Dierig.
Yay.
I want to thank all of our patrons, all of our Patreon producers, and all of our free listeners. Remember, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, you can leave us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps with discoverability, and we would really appreciate you for it. For those who don't know what Patreon is, it is a subscription service based platform where creators go to hopefully have direct support from their fans, just to, kind of directly be supported. So if you want to directly support us, you can. If not, your free listen is always appreciated. All of our content is free. We just, offer a few perks to people who subscribe to our Patreon. I should come up with a better way of explaining all this.
Well, you're
I think it was fine.
and you're just trying to stay alive. So
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
So speaking of staying alive,
The Bee Gees are a great band.
That's not where I was going.
It's where I went. I like the Bee Gees.
What?
I like the Bee Gees.
I don't dislike them.
I'm just sharing a story, okay? Gosh.
No,
Ron.
I love disco era music. I do.
You know,
And it's not just because I was born in the 70s. Like I feel like there's certain eras of music where it just felt good to listen to music,
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to be one of those old people who's like I don't understand today's music, because there are times I don't understand today's fucking music, but but there's also times where it's like, man, this shit's a fucking banger. Like, who did this shit? Like Lil who? What? Whatever. This is hot. What I was so my topic tonight is like what are some feel good things that you seek out when you're not feeling right, whether it's sick, depressed, lonely, stuff like that,
Bad
Doing-
decisions.
bad
Bad decisions is
Just-
your comfort mechanism? Do tell.
Just kidding. No, I'll admit, in the past, I had very self-destructive tendencies.
Mhm.
I did in the past. Not so much anymore. I've kind of, corrected course, because if not, I would be putting myself in jeopardizing situations. So I
Right.
say that kind of jokingly, but sorry, didn't mean to take that down that path.
You did.
It's
You went
okay.
there.
Well, nowadays, I will shove my face into my cat's belly and just motorboat her belly fat. That's what I like to do.
Is this
Um,
Paxil or is this Luso?
Paxil. Only
Okay.
Paxil.
Because I feel like Luso will rip your face off.
Yeah. I used to go directly to The Office and just put reruns of The Office on, even if I'm doing something else. Like I just have it in the background like a security blanket. But since it went to Peacock, I don't have Peacock. I'll just start there. I'm not really quite sure if I have a lot of go-to stuff to make me happy anymore because I'm
Mhm.
just my therapist.
My therapist makes me happy. I don't have a therapist, so I don't go to that. Although it would probably solve a lot of things. I mean, for me, I don't know. I like in a lot of ways I like to be alone. I like to like just not be bothered by people or things. But like sometimes when I there's a difference between wanting to be alone and feeling lonely, I think.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because you could have like a bunch of people around and, know them and conversate with them, but like you still feel
And
lonely.
still feel absolutely lonely.
And
Yep.
so I don't know. I mean, it's weird because like the first thought would be, oh, well, I would play video games to cheer myself up. But like when I'm down, I don't want to do that kind of thing, and I really just like to I actually just kind of sit and think about it, like I don't really do much to alleviate it. And sometimes, I will watch old shows or movies that I'm comfortable with, or I will just scroll through stuff, or, you know, I mean, like Stephanie, I used to like go down some I, destructive roads, like not like doing cocaine in the bathroom or anything like drugs or anything, but like I would like go out and like do things that I probably wouldn't be proud of admitting these these days.
Hmm.
Uh, but like now I don't really feel that way a lot anymore. Uh, because of just my wife and kids and stuff. Like it it just kind of doesn't feel like I have felt that way in a while. So, and I know that's kind of like defeating the purpose of the conversation, but like you kind of, I think I think a lot of people kind of maybe get that way because they can't find their happiness, and not like, oh, I'm happy today, but like they're, what would make them happy for, longer than, a night out with friends or whatever, right? It's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that my wife and my family alleviated a lot of that. And I know like I should probably spend more time with them instead of doing stuff like this, but uh it's
You said it, not none of us said it.
I I know. I'm aware. That's why I said it. But I think that they have kind of uh remedied that feeling, you know.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
one thing I did used to do a lot though was like call my parents, or like my last relationship before my wife, like I moved back in with them, which was, kind of sort of embarrassing in your late 20s, but also
Oh.
they're always there to like pick up the pieces. So,
Uh-huh.
That's what family's for.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Here I was trying to hear something whimsical from you guys. Like, damn, I was hoping you guys were gonna say you
Like
stuff your
asking what do
faces
you
with
do when you're depressed?
like stuffing your faces with mac and cheese, like just like living in your bed with your Nintendo Switch in your hand. Like, damn, like I.
Well, I was gonna add to it. Like I do eat my emotions, so I will go for anything sweet. This might not be whimsical, but actually I love and look forward to going to pole class. Like I've gone there, especially on I used to take Thursday night classes, so I'd have like the shittiest work day because Thursday at 4 from 4 to 5, I have a clinical meeting that I lead, and I just feel just awful. And when I go to pole, I have a fucking blast, and that, and partially because it's a workout. When I run, I feel great afterwards, but I'm also like being sassy and feeling good about myself, how I look, and being with a bunch of gal pals. So, if I can go to pole, I will go to pole because I always leave feeling better.
Mhm.
Always.
I'm telling you, I feel like I need to get on this poll thing and not the way that some of our listeners are probably thinking. I feel like I would have an amazing time, doing poll. I really do.
It's a blast. And we do have a guy come to our class once in a while. It's not
Uh,
all girls.
yeah, I feel like I don't know, like there's a part of me that I want to do gymnastics when I was young and stuff like that, and I feel like doing pole is the closest I'm going to get to that ever because I can't backflip and all sorts of stuff, and I don't know enough, and I don't think I'm enough. I don't know if I'm athletic enough at this point in my life now to where I can do like some of those crazy ass calisthenics that we see like the fitness influencers on YouTube and Instagram doing. Like I would love to be able to manipulate my body, and I think the only way I can manipulate my body to do some of that shit now is just if there's a pole like from floor to ceiling that I can just fuck around with.
It's fun.
Yeah, I know it's a good workout. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, it's definitely a good workout if you can injure yourself. I'm sorry, Stephanie, you with the bursitis thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of worth it. I don't know. I still think it's worth it.
Knowing my luck, I'll get a bad case of tendonitis from doing it.
I just don't like the fact that I'm 33 and I already feel like one wrong move in pole, I'm like crippled for weeks. I'm like,
That's just being an adult. Like man, like we look at kids and man, like I see kids take some I see kids take some stuff that looks like it would just end their lives, and they get up and they act like nothing's wrong with them. I'm like, man, if I'd felt like that, like I'd be in the hospital for 4 weeks.
I don't know. I just thought that 30s, I mean, you're still an adult, but I still think in your 30s that you're at your peak. And I definitely feel like I'm on the downhill, not the
Mm.
peak. So,
Oh shit! You mean that peak where like if you sleep the wrong way, like you like
yep,
you've got neck and back pain for 3 days.
yep.
Oh man, getting old is the best. God, like my knee is finally feeling much better from that shit I did the week of my birthday. And I hurt myself walking. Didn't stumble, didn't trip, didn't fall. Like I somehow my leg, after an hour, it was like nope. And then I was in pain for the next 3 weeks. Let's see, that happened legit 1 month ago because that was Labor Day, that was Memorial Day weekend, and that was the 28th to 29th. Yeah,
I
yep,
don't know how you guys feel, but whenever I'm trying to recover from a funk, it's tempting to do less. Like, I just want to stay in bed,
yeah.
sleep.
The-
I feel like if I'm worse if I do that. I make myself go out of the house, even if it's to the garden or just get off my ass and like,
mhm,
because I'm a believer of momentum, like keep
mhm.
the momentum. But everyone's different.
Yeah, no, I have those moments where like I'm absolutely thrashed and stuff, and like the only thing that's gonna give me any type of comfort is like laying myself up in the bed, and like for example, when I had those COVID boosters, like
Mm.
shit, that shit. Well, I know for sure I was physically wiped out and stuff like that, but like it was one of those things where even when I thought I was feeling better, I did not want to move out of the bed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when the COVID the second shot, I got like super sick for like half a night. And I woke up like sweating and had a fever and felt like I was gonna throw up. Like it was bad.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, like COVID. I would really hate to see what I would feel like. By the way, without the booster shot, because if I
You
felt this
don't want
bad
you
the
don't want to
last,
know.
no, I know, but I'm saying like it scared me. Like if I feel this bad with 3 shots, what would I have felt like without any? So that's it. That was my contribution to the conversation. Sorry.
So who spends too much time on their phones when they're under the weather? Phones or tablets, doesn't matter,
I'm
but you know.
guilty of that, but I'm trying not to. It's very easy to kind of get sucked in. Like I need that instant distraction instead of working hard for a good distraction.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunate. It's a work in progress, but definitely.
So, yeah, like I know I'm guilty of it as a married because like I don't even need an excuse like to just to like get sucked into like shit on my phone, like you know, like I don't even send you guys that many TikToks now because I feel like y'all get annoyed.
Oh, I don't mind. I mean, I might not
You
look at
sent
it
me
right
one
away,
during a
but
meeting one time. That was really fun to explain.
Was it a bad? I typically don't send y'all shit that you know is like.
I no, I
Did I send
it,
a bad one?
no, but like when it like because like my messenger app is open
Uh-huh.
on my laptop like
Mhm.
all day, and I have like three messenger apps open. Like I have my because like my iPhone text messages link to my MacBook, and so anybody that texts me, I get them on my computer instead of my phone during the day, so I don't have to
Yeah.
have my phone out all the time.
Mhm.
But the thing is that it opens attachments like when
It
you're
auto opens them?
when I so like when I click on the Messenger app and I click on the message that came through, it will automatically start playing for some reason, and I don't understand
Oh,
why.
see, that's some bullshit right there.
And I
I'm glad I'm not sending you a whole bunch of lewd shit through.
it's to the point where like I have my laptop muted like constantly unless I'm in my office by myself. And even
Mm.
then I'll have my headphones in. So
Well, dude, I'm sorry, but like I said, I'm
oh,
I'm glad I'm not seeing you.
it's fine.
I'm,
Everybody
I'm
laughed,
glad I'm
but
not seeing you not safe for work shit. But then again, like I don't think we're ready for that level of friendship yet either.
no, I mean I work at a really cool place that doesn't care about stuff like that. So
uh,
I mean as long as it's not too inappropriate, right? But like they all laughed. It was fine.
like what kind of stuff do you like look on your phone? For me, I used to just scroll mindlessly through Facebook, and Instagram, and I'm like, I don't know what exactly I'm looking for. Now I try to like look at other stuff. And I do have Pinterest, and I actually have a funny board where I will save memes that I really, really love. So if I'm feeling down, I will hit up um, that Pinterest board and just look at
well,
those.
well, I put in I put the screen time tracker on my phone to see what's taking like the biggest chunk out of my
Mhm.
time when I'm actually on my phone and have phone in hand. For the most part, like well, for example, today like Twitter is the top one, an hour and 15 minutes of actual screen time for the last 24 hours. Which actually that's not bad, but it's the longest one because the next one under it is literally 43 minutes.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's not a long time. I'm surprised it doesn't have to say TikTok. But then again, like I think my you know how they say like TikTok like you know is designed to like keep you sucked in for hours on end now. Like I outgrew that real fast. Like now I get on TikTok, you know, maybe for like 5 minutes and I'm done, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the typical day in the life of my device usage is Twitter, TikTok, text messaging, email, and whatever's in the Google News feed. So, and actually, the Google News feed takes up a lot of my time because, like, for example, like if I were to go through my Google News feed right now, let's see what's in my news feed right now. Something about HBO Max. Ezra Miller has gotten arrested. That's yeah, for real. Obi-Wan Kenobi shows a new side of Emperor Palpatine.
Mm.
Stranger Things season 4 2-hour finale. Thor Ragnarok is on Prime right now. I mean, it's been on Prime, but yes, the January 6th hearings, Sonic Origins review from Destructoid, stuff like that. So, you know, there's a ton of stuff in my Mass Effect Legendary Edition Romance Options Guide, stuff like that. So there's a ton of stuff in my Google News feed that will get me to basically, oh shit, and here's something on Monster Hunter Rise. So yeah, it's time for me to stop. but yeah, like I mean, yeah. So that's a typical day in the life of my devices. Of course, the three of us we're in a big text chat. So like you guys also take up a decent chunk of my screen time, which is not a bad thing. Um, I know sometimes it feels like I'm just antisocial. But it's like my phone is always notifications going off left and right and stuff like that. So like I have to manage like how I do that.
Yeah, I mean, I have I have my Twitter DMs muted, you know, because
I should mute more of my Twitter DMs.
and it's because I'm in so many chats with people that I just like I can't get these notifications all day. I can't. Like
Yeah.
it's like I know people are like chatting and having fun and doing whatever in those spaces, and that's fine, but like I have so many of those chats that I'm in that I'm just like, please just stop. So I have it all muted. So like when people DM me on Twitter, I don't get it like a lot of the time until really late because like it's just muted because they're not, I would rather use our Discord, or somebody just text me, and that'd be so much easier to do. But I know everybody is kind of like has their own way of doing things, and uh, I'll get to those DMs when I get to them. But
Mhm.
A lot of people are so used to getting responses immediately that, I'm not sure if it's really the best thing for us.
yeah,
Yeah, like I don't understand those personalities, like if it's something important, yes, like I get it, but like a lot of times, like I feel like people are attention starved, especially the ones that are like, oh, you must have
Mm.
your read receipts on and all this shit, like you must have your delivery notices on and stuff. Like I turned all that shit off, As a matter of fact, there's literally only two people on my phone that I have read receipts and delivery receipts turned on for, so like that. And that one's my boyfriend and one's my sister, that's it, because like sometimes just not in the mood to respond to you like right then, like so like
mm-hmm.
God, we'd be in trouble though if like they had thing where it said red in notification panel. We would
Mm.
be in trouble.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
if we had that option, I would not elect for that.
God, because I mean, yeah, like I see the nonsense and the bullshit that's going on, but it's like what wait, was it you guys in the chat? I said I don't have the mental bandwidth to deal with this right now. I'll talk to y'all about this later.
I think so at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's literally one of those things, like like sometimes like just it takes a lot of mental drive and energy to just put our focus into something, and especially something that you're just trying not to like deal with right then and there,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and like hats off to the people who can do it 24/7 because I get weary real fast. Like I'm I'm one of those people that like it sounds OCD, but it actually helps me manage my actual time and usage on my device. For every app that's designed to give you a notification, like I've actually gone through and given each particular app its own like unique notification like ringer or something. That way,
It's
for
probably
example,
smart.
like yeah, I mean, I feel like it is because, like, for example, like if it's a chat from Reddit, I hear the notification and I'm like, okay, that's not super important, so
Yeah.
I can look at it later. Text messages have its own special notification; those always get looked at. Facebook notifications have its own notification. Y'all know me; I don't fuck with Facebook. So yeah, that's like one of the last things to get looked at. Twitter, like I feel like I'm gonna have to like Corey said, I need to mute. I need to
Yeah.
mute some stuff. Yeah, I mean, like
And I don't want
there's a
people
certain
to I don't want people to think that like I'm ignoring them. It's not that I'm ignoring them. It's just that like I there is so much going on. I
yeah.
just, you know,
Before we had cell phones, it used to be like we would go to the job and we didn't, and like we were just at the job, so like there was nothing to like pull our attention away from that. But now like like we have phones and all. Did I tell you guys like when I was unemployed in between GameStop and the job I have now, I was unemployed for almost 3 years.
Mm.
And one of the last sacrifices I had to make because of money was I had to like I eventually could not maintain a cell phone and stuff like that.
Mm,
A year and a half with no cell phone, I got used to being off the grid. And it was one of those
nice.
situations where when I got a job, like one of the first things my job told me is like, hey, we're gonna pay for you to have a cell phone. And I was like, do we really need for me to have a cell phone? Like, like this whole always being reached, like I don't like this. And I've been with this job for 9 years now, and I still am not used to it. It's
That
funny
must
how
be super liberating.
it was, and and here's the crazy part now. Like there are days I literally will walk out the house and leave my phone, and I will be halfway out the neighborhood before I realize I don't have my phone, and it's usually because like my phone is usually also connects to the stereo in the car and stuff like that. That's usually how I realize I don't have my phone because I don't hear something. And I'll be halfway out the neighborhood, and I'm like, do I really want to turn around and get my phone?
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny, like being off the grid, like, like shit, if I could do a lot more to like minimize my carbon footprint, I definitely would. But of course I need my phone for work and stuff like that, like because I'm in a job where like I have to be reached, because of demands of work and stuff like that. So like it's definitely a sacrifice I would make, but but I also know how I am. I like technology and stuff. So like I'm not one of those people that could get a cell phone plan and just have like 1 gigabyte of data in my
Yeah.
service plan. Like no, no, like I will. I I, I will be immediately renegotiating my contract at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how much having cell phones and being connected, this theoretically ideal way to communicate and be attached to people, it makes us so anxious and paranoid and attention craving,
Hmm.
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's coming from somebody who does so many podcasts, and I don't know, man. It's just it's crazy. It's insane. I hope I don't come off that way. I'm not trying to be attention craving. I just that's that
No.
that a lot of people are like, I had a conversation one with my wife at one point, like maybe a year ago or something, about uh attention or something, and it wasn't, I forget what we were talking about. It wasn't about her. It was about something else, like somebody like craving attention. I made a comment about it, and she's like, "Oh, you mean the person that does like 10 podcasts a week?" I'm like,
Oh.
"Ooh, ouch." But
Well, hold on a second. I feel like it's not that you crave attention, like with all the podcasting and stuff that you do. I think it's more because you are a social creature. I also feel like, honestly, I equate how you do with podcasting to how I used to be with MySpace and Facebook. Like I like the social interactivity and stuff. So like I would put myself out there and stuff, and then like we got to an age where the stuff that you put out there, basically can crucify you and stuff like that, because like like you're yucking somebody's yum, or like your peanut butter's getting in their chocolate for whatnot, and things like
ew,
that, and all of a
gross.
sudden I forgot you're not a peanut butter person. But yeah, but I feel like you and I are kind of the same person, just in different mediums or formats or whatnot. Because like I feel like you're social, and the way you get your social activity is by through streams, podcasts, and stuff like that. And I'm the same way, except now I think I've left the realm of social media and am doing streaming and podcasting now.
Hmm. Yeah.
Eventually somebody I know or associates with the job is going to hear what we're doing, and I was like, oh, that LeRon guy.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
That guy sucks.
I'm like, bitch, can I live?
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, you know, man, look at us being all open about this crazy
Yeah, I
life
mean,
Hmm.
we live.
no,
This is our safe space.
yeah, well, I
I
mean,
feel
just I
safe
just
and warm. You guys are my
that's
nice,
really it.
snuggly, cuddly blanket. that I don't really get to cuddle or
Has
snuggle
anyone
with.
tried a weighted blanket before?
Yes,
I
I
have, I
love.
have, I have a weight. I have a gravity blanket actually. Like the thing weighs like 12 pounds.
Yeah, I love weighted blanket, and I used to have one, and then my apartment burned down, and I lost it, and I never got another
You
one.
lost it.
Well, it
Oh.
it you know died in the fire.
My problem is I run hot, so like it has it. I have to be like for me to like break it out. Like I have to be in a situation where like I'm just not trying to turn on the heat.
Yeah, I'm I'm looking at weighted blankets now because now I really want. Oh my gosh, they're $100.
Yeah.
Oh, this one I bought. I bought this one from Target. And I don't even think it cost me more than $60. And like, trust me, like I've had this thing for. Uh, Here's a funny story, right? I was one of the groomsmen for one of my friends' weddings, and we went to a resort that it called itself a plantation, but it wasn't. It's not an actual plantation. Like we live in Virginia, so like they love that whole Southern decadence bullshit out here.
They do?
Um,
I didn't know that.
they, I mean, it's not like like we're being entertained by Paula Dean or nothing like that. But we were out there, and half of the house there was something wrong with the and this is in the wintertime. Well, like in not yeah well not winter, it was cold enough though. But we were out there, and half of there was something wrong with the environmental system, so half of the house wasn't being heated properly. So like the groomsmen decided, like, hey, like if anything, like the bride and her party, they should be the ones that get the heated portion. So like we were all in like literally one of the coldest rooms in the house. um and so I can't remember what it was. Like there was a situation with some of the bridesmaids. It was like a mercy, and like we had to go out, and like they gave us a shopping list of shit to go get. And when I say shit to go get, I'm talking to like like cosmetics and stuff. I'm not talking about like, oh, like we need like like Oreos and M&Ms and stuff like that. No, like they need some shit. Um so me two of the fellas, like we drove into town and got into a Target and started just like we split up the shopping list, and and went and got everything, and we're gonna meet up at the register. So on my leg of the trip, it took me through like the bathroom and the home furnishing section, and I was like, and I saw the weighted blankets on display, and I was like, oh shit, this is perfect because it is cold as fuck in that house right now. So here I come with my portion of the shopping list that's needed for the bride and her party and stuff. And my friend's looking, was like, Where'd you get that blanket from?" And I was like, oh, like this blanket, and I like kind of tossed it at one of them, and he grabbed it, and he was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my gosh.
I think the blanket weighs 13 pounds. I believe it does, but trust me when I tell you, like not only was I warm, but I was so warm I wound up sweating, like sleeping with that thing. But I never felt the cold.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd be concerned about sweating through a weighted blanket.
Yeah,
But it feels so good though.
they do. They do. Actually, that I understand why Linus and Charlie Brown like had that blanket. Oh my God. Like there's it's something about like having the weight on you or whatnot. Like and for some strange reason, like if one part of me that's not my neck and head is not under that blanket, I do not feel secure. It's crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, it's it's like somebody snuggling you without all the breathing and the hair and the
Yeah.
sweat. That sweat you
Aw.
feel is all yours. So,
Yeah, it's all yours.
gross.
Is it downloading?
I don't like being
It,
hot
Monster Hunter?
either, though.
Yeah, is it downloading?
No, it's not. They're like, LeRon, you've been banned from Monster Hunter for
It
life.
sure as fuck doesn't look like it's
By the way,
downloading.
LeRon, guess what's on sale on Steam this week?
What's on sale? What's on sale?
The entire Destiny franchise on
How
sale.
much?
Oh, wow.
I think it's like 70% off or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just saying, since you got banned from Monster Hunter just now,
Don't mess with me.
I saw it right there.
But that's not it. That's not it. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I don't understand that reference.
You've never seen Game of Thrones?
No.
Oh.
What? Oh,
One of
check it out.
the biggest phenomenons in television. You haven't seen that?
Nope.
Okay. Welcome to Boss Rush, where Corey doesn't watch a single fucking thing.
You're right.
Yeah, and he's a big proponent of standard definition, so.
I know. Well, the reason
I am not doing standard definition for Game of Thrones. I'm sorry.
I'm
You'll have to
not
find
either.
some other. You have to find some other idiot for that shit.
Here's the thing. The original idea for that, yes, it's a retro nostalgia podcast, but it was also a vehicle for me to watch things that I've never watched before, which is why the first episode was Ghostbusters.
There you go.
And then everything else since then is all stuff I've seen.
Which, by the way, the Ghostbusters movie just came out, like basically the sequel to the original series. They just got greenlit for a sequel.
Great. Never seen it.
Well, I haven't seen this new one, but I need to see it because it was on my list to see, and my boyfriend didn't want to go see it with me, so I kind of missed out on it. It's crazy. It's crazy how you get attached to somebody and then you kind of want to do everything with them and you also want them to do everything with you.
I've been trying to get my wife to play games with me forever, and the only game she's ever played with me is Mario Kart. So
Mario Kart. And hey, that's something. Yeah, but no, he absolutely surprised me. Well, Corey, he surprised me twice. You guys, both you guys know that one day he was like, hey, he's like, I want to start watching Star Trek. Where should I start? Made my fucking day. But guess what? While he was gone for that
how many
entire
favors
month,
did you have to do for that?
I haven't do any yet. I haven't do any yet, actually. I'm actually kind of grateful. Even though, hold on, doing favors for your significant other when it's stuff that you love, is it really a chore? Or, yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know.
But remember, but remember when he was gone for that entire month?
Yes.
At the beginning,
we
of
are
summer?
all aware he was gone for a month.
Guess what this guy did while he was out?
Not you.
Oh.
True. But
watched Star Trek?
No. He started watching the Marvel movies, something he said he was not going to do.
Ooh.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, because he came back and he was like, "Hey, how are your guys' recordings going for the MCU stuff?" And I was like, "Well, we just wrapped Avengers, and we're getting ready to start Phase 2. So, and Phase 2 starts with Iron Man 3." And he's like, "Okay, well, let me know when you watch it." And I was like, "Oh, you want to watch that?" And he's like, "Well, while I was gone, I decided to start watching the movies." And I was like, "What?"
That's awesome.
But you know what that means? That means I gotta watch the Lord of the Rings with him.
That's another series I've never watched.
The Lord of the Rings is his jam, and I have issues. Lord of the Rings. I've never seen those movies because the damn books.
I've never seen them either. I fell asleep I tried to watch the first one 3 separate times, and I fell asleep at the same part every single time. And I was like, these movies just aren't for me. Apparently,
he said he's gonna be nice to me. He's not gonna force me to watch the 4 hour director's cut ones. And I was like,
but aren't those the ones that you want to watch? Because
I told him, I was like, if that's the definitive way to watch them, I don't mind, because I do like director's cuts of movies and stuff like that, And he's like, well, the theatrical releases are already long as fuck, and they add another hour and some change onto it and stuff. I was like, well, I mean, we'll figure it out. So yeah, there's that.
Well, that's why he watched all the Marvel movies to get you to
To, to
watch Lord of the Rings.
well, I told you guys he's like a cinema file, you know. So it's one of those things where like I'm eventually gonna wind up watching everything he loves, and he may only watch 10% of what I love because I literally talk about Agents of Shield, and he's like, that's 7 years worth of television. I was like, man, people watch. I watched 15 years of Supernatural. Like, you can do 7 years of a 20 episode season show.
Aw.
I'm very opposed to the 20 something episode season show now that Disney Plus and Amazon exist,
Mm.
and Hulu and all these other places. The last show I was
Is
really
that
into that was longer than like 10 episodes, I think, was The Flash, and I stopped watching that like 5 years ago.
is that where we're at now? Is did has like streaming media like kind of like ruined us for like because I feel like I still love serialized television.
I mean,
Especially if like
you can be serialized and not be like 30 episodes.
well no I mean if you really like the content, don't you want more of it?
I mean, theoretically, yes, but when I don't have time, when I barely have time to do it,
Well,
you know,
well,
like,
let me ask you this, because we know Bungie's making plans to do a Destiny series.
yeah.
So if they turn around and said each season is planned for 15 episodes at best,
Oh my gosh,
would you would you
that's
be
way
invested?
too long.
Would
What?
you
That's
would
way
you
too
be
many.
you love Destiny though? Would you be invested?
I would watch. I would probably have to be A, because I do a podcast on it, but and B, because I like the universe, but also
If
like
you if
here.
you had no exterior attachments to it besides the fact that you love the game.
I mean, it it depends on if people say it's good or not, you know, because like I I don't know. It depends on how long the episodes are. What's
He's
the
making excuses now,
no,
Stephanie.
Yeah, he is.
what's the story about? You know, is it about the golden age? Is it about the war against the fallen? Is it about,
Are
is it
so are
an
you
anthology
telling me like
about
a
each character gets their own episode as like an anthology series? Is it like a Star Wars Visions type thing? Like, what is it? What's the story?
Whoa.
So are you telling
Are
me?
they
Are you telling
retelling
me like
campaign stories? Because nobody wants that. You know, like
apparently that's what they wanted with the Halo series, and they didn't get that, so people are pissed.
Hmm.
I I think people are mad because Halo, like, regardless of what you think of the canon, they are very careful with their canon, and I think the show breaks that canon, and everybody's like, why would a series that's so attached to their canon greenlight a show that is detached from their canon? Also, it depends on if like like Bungie's writing team is involved in this or not, and what rules can they
We're
bend
talking
and
about
what
we're
rules they
talking about
break.
we're talking about 343, right? Because Bungie had nothing to
Yeah,
do with
no, I
Halo.
know. I'm talking about the Destiny series you just
Okay.
theoretically threw at me.
Well,
Uh,
yeah. Well, as far as we know from the negotiations, Bungie wants to have as much creative control as possible over it.
yeah,
And I feel like
and that's
Sony's
what
going to give
Sony's
them
giving it. That's what
Sony's giving
Sony's
them like the
giving them.
widest berth I've ever heard like a parent company doing.
Uh huh. Yeah. So I mean, it depends on a lot of things, and that's I don't know. It's where I'm at. I mean, I would probably
It's
watch it
you're
just because,
you're weird. You're and I'm saying that lovingly. You're weird because like, dude, if they turn around and said they're making a Monster Hunter like series, I don't care what part of Monster Hunter it's in, where it's at. Like, are people using like giant ass like prehistoric weapons and fucking up like giant monsters? That's all I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
And maybe I'm
I
just so
don't
basic that
like.
I just love the fact that something, which is why I guess I think I like the Monster Hunter movie more than I should. The one with Mila
Yeah,
Jovovich and Tony Jaa. I think
yeah.
well, also it's because Mila Jovovich is my husband as far as that's concerned.
The thing is that it depends though with the Destiny series, right? If they're gonna expand on the lore, if they're gonna do it in a cool way, if they're gonna cast Lance Reddick as Zavala, like if they're gonna do
They're
if they're gonna do
It's
all
going to
the
be
right
really hard.
things,
it's gonna be hard to get the voice talent, like the
I
voice
don't
talent from the games.
I
It's
don't
gonna
think
be.
so.
Well, no, well, we're actually getting into a. I think I feel like we're getting closer and closer to getting to a golden age where like the actual where the content that stuff come from is actually intersecting with the content of stuff that's coming out in the
That's
future and
good.
stuff like that.
They can do a show about the golden age, and I would be just fine.
But I feel like Lance Reddick is all over the place. He's playing Albert Wesker.
I mean, Lance Reddick is Zavala in Destiny.
I know. He's the voice
Yeah,
talent, and I think
yeah,
did he also lend some mocap to it too?
yeah. I mean, yeah, a little bit.
By the way, I loved him in Quantum Break.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: like, if they expand on the lore, if they tell interesting stories outside of the stuff that we see in the game, yes, I will watch it because that stuff is super interesting. And I would love to see some of the stuff that like we hear about in the game in the lore, but we don't actually see on screen, right? Big
Yeah, yeah.
important story moments that happen that we don't get to see in the game because it happened in the past or it happened while our character who is canonically a character in the storyline, right? It's not just like we're there to witness the story. Our Guardian is a canonical character in the story, which I think it's about to get real Destiny nerdy here, but like a lot of people are starting to think that our character is one of the disciples, which is going to break the light and dark saga, bring the light and dark story to a close at the end of the light and dark saga. Uh,
Mhm.
but if they're gonna just rehash you know, stories from the game or, rehash like the some of the campaigns that we've already played, then I'm not interested. I've already done all of that. I've seen it. I've played it. I don't need to see it, and that would be a real waste of time and money and effort on Bungie's part. And I think what Bungie really wants to do is expand the lore and expand into stories the way that they did with Halo, right? With the Halo books and the comics and some of the uh Halo Legends and I know this was after Bungie left, but like what was the Halo movie that they did right before Halo 4 came out.
I know, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, which was actually
Yeah.
really good. Uh
Mhm.
And so like I think Bungie wants to move in that direction. They want to expand the story without rehashing stuff that's happened. Like maybe if there's stuff that's going on in the show that happens alongside the campaigns, then maybe. But like I want to see like the Battle of the Six Fronts or what happened to the Iron Lords or why did the Titans become the race that protects everybody, like the class that protects everybody? Like why are the hunters the scouts? Like I want to see that kind of stuff. Why did the fallen lose the light and why did we get it? Like that's the kind of things that I want to see on in a show. If we're just gonna go fight, you know, Oryx on screen and not play it instead of going back into the King's Fall raid and playing it, like I don't need to see that.
Okay.
And I know like,
It's
well, I know like video game stuff, it's like different, from person to person and from game to game. Like I watched the Uncharted movie a couple weeks ago, and I thought
which there was nothing canon about that shit at all.
no, there wasn't, but it was still fun. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good
But
movie, and as a matter of fact, it kind of broke my expectations because
yeah,
well, number one, I didn't walk in thinking that they were going to try and redo anything, but the fact that they kind of mishmashed stuff that we already knew and
hmm
made it its own adventure, I was kind of like, what the fuck?
yeah. I mean, it was really fun. I mean, they didn't have to call it Uncharted, and I think it would have
Yeah, it
it.
could have been called Treasure Hunter.
Yeah, I actually think this movie would have gotten better scores if they didn't call it Uncharted. It was seriously like an Indiana Jones movie is all it was, and it was super fun.
It's like a modern day Indiana Jones
Yeah.
movie. That's
Well,
because
yeah.
Indiana Jones is using history.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
And like the Tomb Raider movie was fine, right? The newer one.
the one with Alicia Vikander,
Yeah.
which is supposedly getting a sequel, but we
I
don't
know.
know.
They greenlit a sequel right before COVID hit, and then supposedly production is starting sometime at the end of the summer. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. But anyways, I will stop my rant on a Destiny
I know, because
multimedia
I got
thing.
I got more than what I asked for.
You
Like I
brought it up.
Yeah, but I also asked you if you took all the exterior stuff, like all the affiliation and all that stuff, and just said I love Destiny, would you watch a show if it was more than 15 episode season? And let's say
Well,
it,
here's
it
the
seems like
thing. I've
uh-huh.
probably watched. So I say I wouldn't. Would. I would watch it, but I would be hesitant. But I also have watched probably 80% of My Name is Bife's lore videos on Destiny, which there's probably close to like 3,000 of them. So,
Uh-huh.
um, yeah. Whoops.
Stephanie,
Mm.
Legend of Zelda anything, if they said it was coming to a television service or a streaming affiliate, but it was going to be more than like you these streaming networks, they get our money by only selling us 8 to 10 episodes of something at best. Like, but let's say for example, like 15 to 22 episodes. Like I think most stuff on the CW, which is like the last like, well, I mean like ABC, CBS, NBC and stuff, like like they have tall orders for their TV seasons. Like it's usually anywhere from 15 to 22 episodes. So let's say a Legend of Zelda series came out, like, and we don't even know what Super Mario the movie looks like. So let's just say like something they're taking seriously,
It's gonna be unlike anything you've ever seen.
Oh, when you say it like that, we think of the Philips CDI version.
God, no.
Listen,
But
I'll tell you something. Even if it looks kind of dicey and we're not sure if that Legend of Zelda 20 or 30 episode TV show series would be, I will still fucking watch it.
let's say they make it animated. Let's say they make it animated and thinking like Avatar: The Last Airbender, or Avatar: Legend of Korra, like something like that. Like, would you be able to get behind that?
Yes,
Yeah.
because I'm a real fan. I will do anything, watch
Cheap
anything.
jab.
I don't care what
Cheap
it is.
jab. Woo.
So
Woo.
okay, well, expanding on things like so that recently, which I know they announced this like 4 or 5 years ago, but they recently re-announced that Super Nintendo World is coming to Universal in Florida, and they're already like partway through construction in California. Like, would do things like that interest you guys at all? Like, I mean, not necessarily just Nintendo World, but like obviously LeRon, if they made like a Monster Hunter,
Yes.
Super
In
Monster Hunter.
Japan, the Universal Studios Japan, they have part of their park is a Monster Hunter thing.
Oh, is it?
What?
I didn't even
Mhm.
know that.
I'm gonna fucking
Yep.
fly to Japan just to see that, and I'm not even a Monster
Yeah.
Hunter like diehard.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you guys don't really play the Monster Hunter games, but every Monster Hunter game gets what's called USJ content. That means Universal Studios Japan.
Ooh. That is
Yeah, yeah, like yeah. As a matter of fact, my buddy he was stationed in Japan for a while, and I told him, I was like, dude, you gotta go to Universal Studios, like, and just take pictures. I want to see this shit. He never made it out there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like, you know what? If you weren't working for Uncle Sam, I'd kick your ass right now.
You would just disappear.
You don't understand. When Monster Hunter 4 was the game, they actually had a two scale replica of Gormagala. That's that black wyvern that was featured in not the last Monster Hunter trailer, but the one previous one, the one for the partner direct that they did a while back.
What was the one we tried to pronounce on the direct recap show yesterday?
Shagaru Magala.
No.
It was the free title update.
Yeah, bagel something.
Here.
Seething basil geese, or
bagel juice.
Bagel juice. Yeah, I called it
bagel juice. Well, actually, if you're pronouncing it the way the Europeans pronounce it, it's basil juice.
Puzzle juice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, seething basil juice.
Uh,
Everybody's like, how do you pronounce that thing's name?
Yeah, there's got some challenging names in that.
Only the Germans can pronounce that one correctly.
yeah. Well. Huh. Look at us hanging out, talking
I know,
about
right?
things.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways,
let's see. I mean, we got all our preliminary stuff out the way. We shouted out our patrons and whatnot. You know what? I think we're done tonight. I think we're
no.
done.
Yeah.
It wasn't something super heavy. Corey's saying no because he doesn't want me to start fucking with Monster Hunter. That's what this is.
You've been banned from Monster Hunter.
You can't contain me, bro. You cannot do it.
Hold on. I need to look something up real quick. I mean, you can
I'm not getting much sleep tonight because I have a meeting to be at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I have one to be at 9.
How far do you have to drive to that meeting though? Is the question.
Well,
you're doing it from home.
Yeah, I can't go to work.
I have to go to the meeting in person.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, whose fault's that?
Yeah, you might as well just stay up all night.
I mean, is how I make money for my job, so I gotta do it.
Let's see.
Gotta pay for that Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Speaking of Monster Hunter World is on sale right now for $15.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Monster Hunter World?
That's the realistic Monster Hunter game. I mean,
I know which version it is. I said I would have bought it, but we can't crossplay.
Get it on never mind.
No,
I'm not gonna go there with you tonight.
Not doing that.
I'm not gonna go there with you tonight. After not like that epic meltdown you had at your machine last week before we went to podcast.
I was mad last week. Nothing was working.
Corey went to a dark place.
Yeah, he did. I was like, ooh.
All right, well, everyone, this has been
LeRon. You can buy everything available in Destiny right now.
For how much?
For $23.99.
Are you what?
Not including the current season, it looks like. But you can buy. I mean, so
Why are you
it
doing
includes.
This to me now when the content drop from Monster Hunter just happened. You're a hater, Corey. You are the hatingest of haters.
It includes the Forsaken pack, which gives you 3 free exotics from that.
Send me the link.
It's on Steam. Just look up Destiny 2.
Jeez.
I don't want to change my Steam page from Monster Hunter. I'm reading. Hold on, let me open an incognito browser.
Incognito, huh?
Hey, that's how you do it.
Hold on. I lied. It's everything up to the Witch Queen. You don't get the Witch Queen with this purchase.
That's $23.
It's $23.99. Yes.
So the Witch Queen is what, $60?
The Witch Queen. It depends on which version you buy. Witch Queen.
Here we fucking go.
The Witch Queen base expansion is $23.99. The Witch Queen Deluxe Edition, which gives you the 4 seasons worth of content after the Witch Queen, is $53.59. And then the Witch Queen Deluxe Edition plus the Bungie 30th Anniversary Bundle is $66.99, which also includes all of the previous Legacy content.
So which is the one I should be getting? If I were to do this, it's the deluxe edition?
I mean, honestly, it's the deluxe edition plus the Bungie 30th Anniversary Bundle is the one that.
Okay, so $66.99. All right. Oh, it's on my wish list right now. Okay, and it's normally $100. Okay, I see it.
I mean, that's a lot of money to ask for someone to spend, but.
Yeah, I know because real talk right now, I actually found the cheap deal for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak Deluxe Edition. I didn't pay full price for this.
Oh, nice. Well,
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well,
awkward silence, everybody.
We can wrap this up now. This has been Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast, the flagship show for the Boss Rush Network. We'd like to thank you all for hanging out with us, listening to our show. Like, we appreciate you, we love you, and stuff like that. And before we head out, you know what time it is. It's time for everybody to plug themselves. Corey, you go first.
You can find me at IamCoreyHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast, Nintendo Power Block, and various other things here on the Boss Rush Network.
All right, Stephanie, you know what to do.
Look, my cat's giving you the middle finger. Sorry,
Yeah.
my poor cat. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Klimov, KLIMOV_author. Wednesday nights on Boss Rush Podcast, articles on bossrush.net, and on various other podcasts from time to time.
All right, and don't forget, you can find me basically everywhere by looking up Exodus803. So social media, Twitch and YouTube, PlayStation Network, Steam ID, all that good stuff. The Crossroads podcast that I'm the host of now has a new home. It's on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Exodus803. Check that out. Like I already announced it, but we have a new co-host, Andre Wilson, who you've already, well, actually, if you've been checking out the Boss Rush podcast, you know who that guy is. But he made himself right at home on his very first episode, and we love it. Shenanigans were ensued. Beyond that, though, it's been fun. It's been fun. Like, guys, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for the light topic. It was
It's
nice.
always fun.
I feel like I could kind of like, I'm kind of good at reading the room. So, I kind of read the room real quick, and I was like, you know what? The topic I had, we can talk about that next week as long as, like, we're in good spirits, whatnot, because that shit ain't going away. Shit ain't going away. But yeah, as always, everyone, come back and join us for our next new installment of Boss Rush After Dark, where we'll be back with more topics that aren't, as always, content appropriate for our other anchor shows. We love you all, and have a good night. Happy gaming, happy socializing. Love yourself. You are the best that you can be. Just work on that.
Self-care, hugs are better than drugs.
Not drugs.
I'm not gonna say anything. All right, everyone. Good night.
Bye.